and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. My name is Tina Jha. Let's begin with the top stories. Rajya Sabha concludes discussion on surrogacy regulation bill. Members put forth suggestions on its provisions. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan to reply tomorrow. Discussion on transgender bill to also continue in the upper house tomorrow. Lok Sabha passes Chit Fund Amendment Bill. Union Minister Anurag Singh Thakur says legislation has provisions to bring big changes in the law to protect subscribers from fraud. Situation completely normal in Jammu and Kashmir, says Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Allays fears on the National Register of Citizens issue. Asserts process will be carried out across the country. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu underscores need to empower and enable children to secure India's future. At a program organized by UNICEF, the Vice President appeals for the creation of a safe and just world for future generations. And Golden Jubilee of Indian International Film Festival gets underway with a colourful show in Goa. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar felicitates actor Rajnikant with the Icon of Golden Jubilee Award. French actress Isabelle Huppert and actor Amitabh Bachchan honoured with Lifetime Achievement Award. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said that the situation in Jammu and Kashmir is completely normal. Replying to questions in the upper house on Wednesday, Shah said that after the abrogation of Article 370, not even a single person has died in police firing in Jammu and Kashmir. Responding to a supplementary question in the Rajya Sabha during question hour, Home Minister Amit Shah said national security is paramount and the curbs on using internet in Kashmir will be lifted at an appropriate time.
पूरी स्थिति सामान्य हो चुकी। देश और दुनिया में इसके लिए कई प्रकार की भ्रांतियां, कोई गलत आशा नहीं होगा, मगर फैली हुई है। तो मैं इस सदन के माध्यम से देश की जनता के सामने ये पूरी कश्मीर की सामान्य स्थिति के बारे में बताना चाहता हूं। जहां तक लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का सवाल है, 5 अगस्त के बाद एक भी व्यक्ति की पुलिस फायरिंग से मौत नहीं हुई।
The Home Minister informed members that over 22 lakh metric tons apples had already been transferred out of the region. Farmers have been provided additional help. More than 93,247 landlines have been opened and mobile phones are already working.
देश की सुरक्षा का सवाल है, कश्मीर घाटी के और जम्मू के नागरिकों की सुरक्षा का सवाल है और आतंकवाद के खिलाफ की लड़ाई का सवाल है, तब हमें कहीं ना कहीं प्रायोरिटी तय करनी पड़ती है और जैसे ही वहां के प्रशासन को उचित लगेगा हम तुरंत इस पर पुनः विचार करेंगे। मानवीय दवाइयों की उपलब्धता पर्याप्त है और कहीं पर कोई तकलीफ नहीं है।
The Home Minister also said that all newspapers and TV channels are functioning in Kashmir and there is no restriction on the circulation of newspapers. All schools and colleges are also open in Jammu and Kashmir, including the Kashmir Valley. Currently, examinations for 10th and 12th standard are underway and there is over 98% attendance of students. Further, there is no restriction on the movement of students in the valley. And all hospitals and health centers are also open and related medical services fully functional. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. The Home Minister also informed the upper house that the National Register of Citizens will be implemented nationwide. He assured that NRC will cover everyone irrespective of their religion and added that people whose names have not figured in the draft list have the right to go to the tribunal.
जो एनआरसी आसाम के अंदर एनआरसी की प्रक्रिया हाथ में ली गई, एक सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर के तहत और एक अलग एक्ट के तहत ली गई है। एनआरसी की प्रक्रिया देश भर में होगी, उस वक्त आसाम के अंदर भी ये एनआरसी की प्रक्रिया स्वाभाविक रूप से फिर से की जाएगी। और इसमें मैंने फिर से स्पष्ट कर देता हूं कि किसी भी धर्म के लोगों को कोई डरने की जरूरत नहीं है। ये सारे लोगों को एनआरसी के अंदर समाहित करने की व्यवस्था है ही है। और जिस गैजेट नोटिफिकेशन का उल्लेख माननीय सदस्य ने कहा, वो पूरे देश भर के अंदर एप्लीकेबल।
The Home Minister also underscored the importance of the Citizenship Amendment Bill, saying that Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, Jains, Christians and Parsis discriminated on the basis of religion in Pakistan, Bangladesh or Afghanistan must get Indian citizenship.
एनआरसी के अंदर आज जो नागरिक बने हैं, इनका रजिस्टर बनाने की व्यवस्था है। इसके अंदर इस प्रकार का कोई प्रोविजन नहीं हो सकता। मगर ये बात सही है, सरकार मानती भी है कि जो हिंदू शरणार्थी आए हैं, बौद्ध, जैन, सिख, क्रिश्चियन और पारसी शरणार्थी है, सारे को इस देश की नागरिकता मिलनी चाहिए। और इसीलिए सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट बिल लाकर हिंदू, सिख, बौद्ध, जैन, पारसी और क्रिश्चियन, ये सारे धर्म के शरणार्थी जो धार्मिक प्रताड़ना के कारण बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान और अफगानिस्तान से आए हैं, उनको वो बिल के अंदर नागरिकता देने का प्रोविजन।
The Rajya Sabha on Wednesday continued the discussion on the Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2019 for consideration and passage. Taking part in the debate, members of various parties put forth their suggestions regarding the provisions of the bill. Ami Yagnik of the Congress said that it is a much-needed bill, but there are too many gaps in it. She also demanded that this bill be sent to the Select Committee for further deliberations. While Vikas Mahatme of the BJP supported the bill and said this legislation will benefit prospective parents. The discussion remained inconclusive. The government will respond to the discussion on Thursday. The bill prohibits commercial surrogacy in the country but allows altruistic surrogacy. It has provisions to constitute a national surrogacy board, state surrogacy boards, and appointment of appropriate authorities for the regulation of the practice and process of surrogacy.
Definition of infertility appears to be too narrow and vague. Sir, it has not taken into account, the definition of infertility has not taken into account the other medical conditions. NRI Indians should be considered at par with other Indians, sir.
Then this bill is the wrong bill, sir. Because this bill will put an end to any form of surrogacy, because we can't expect that only the sisters or the sister-in-law or some close relative is going to come forward. This is going to create more emotional problems, more psychological problems than we can ever imagine. So this close relative thing is a very dangerous element in this bill.
The 5 years which are required, then only the intending couple can can apply for surrogacy, is very much necessary, because they have to undergo first this assisted reproductive technology. They should use this assisted reproductive technology, and if it fails, then only they should go for surrogacy.
It is better when there should be that waiting period has to be reduced in some circumstances, in a special circumstances like this. And the definition of a close relative, this also has to be defined.
The bill does not address intended parents where both of them are orphans and they have no genetic relative. How do you make their case as a strong case for surrogacy, sir?
There is an appellate authority. The decision of appellate authority with regard to the registration became final, or whether there is no provision for review or revision of this. This is clear and vague. Under section 14C, the tenure of the board, members of the board, is 3 years. But whereas under 14F, it's mentioned is only 1 year. It's better to put it in 3 years as on par with 14C, then it only the board can effectively function.
रूप में सैरोगेट मां के स्वास्थ्य से संबंधित अधिकारों की सुरक्षा के लिए कहीं कोई उपाय नहीं है। उदाहरण के लिए गर्भ के दौरान विकसित स्वास्थ्य संबंधी समस्या, शिशु को जन्म देने के बाद उत्पन्न होने वाली स्वास्थ्य समस्याएं, जन्म के दौरान सैरोगेट मां की मृत्यु होने की स्थिति में उसके और उसके परिवार की सुरक्षा के लिए कोई व्यवस्था का होना इत्यादि भी है।
बिल के अंदर प्रोविजन किया है कि 25 साल तक सभी प्रकार के फॉर्म, कंसेंट लेटर, एग्रीमेंट, चार्ट्स उस क्लिनिक को संभाल कर रखने पड़ेंगे। 25 साल का पीरियड एक बहुत लंबा पीरियड होता है। आप या तो उसको इलेक्ट्रॉनिक माध्यम से स्टोरेज करने की परमिशन दें ताकि रिकॉर्ड का एक बहुत लंबा अंबार उन क्लिनिकों के अंदर ना लगे, और अन्यथा इस समय सीमा को कम किया जाए।
We are not looking at the child, the newborn baby, the rehabilitation processes that need to be taken, that need to take place after the birth, and the most important part is the health care part of all the components here. We are talking of agreements in commercial surrogacy. Yes, it was governed by legal documents, and that is why some solace was there. But when we are banning commercial surrogacy in this particular bill, we need more regulation.
वो कानून में भी बहुत सारी बात दी गई है। दो बोर्ड बनाने की बात है। उस बोर्ड का थोड़ा बहुत डिफाइन कर देना चाहिए कि स्टेट वाला का क्या फंक्शन होगा और सेंटर वाले का क्या फंक्शन होगा। इतना नहीं कि इतना कड़ा हो जाए कि लेना मुश्किल हो जाए, ये भी नहीं
कि अगर ये बिल आता है तो इसमें जो बच्चे होंगे उसका बीमा हो, उसके स्वास्थ्य का बीमा हो, और जो सरोगेसी मदर है उसका भी बीमा होना चाहिए।
Sir, only 60 test period, pregnancy period, all you calculate, it will be only 16 months. But they should be given lifetime health coverage. It should not be 16 months coverage. After 16 months, who will take care of that woman? That is a very important thing. I will bring it to the notice of the House.
In conventional national or Indian society, in near relations, we adopt. There is no need for surrogacy. Not only that, emotional problems take place.
बड़ी उम्र में शादी करते हैं, इनके लिए जो 5 साल का वेट करने की बात है वो मेरे ख्याल से थोड़ा ज़्यादा है। तो 1 साल में इनको ये छूट देनी चाहिए कि 1 साल के बाद दे कैन टेक डिसीजन फॉर दैट।
The Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Bill 2019 was taken up in the Upper House on Wednesday. Social Justice and Empowerment Minister Thawar Chand Gehlot proposed the bill for consideration and passage. The bill aims to provide for protection of rights of transgender persons. The legislation was first introduced in the last session of Parliament and was passed by the Lok Sabha on 5th August. The discussion on the bill will continue on Thursday.
जो कोर्ट ने फैसला दिया था उसमें जो कोर्ट ने सरकार से अपेक्षा की थी उनकी अपेक्षा को हमने पूरा करने का प्रयास किया है। 1-2 मुद्दों को छोड़ करके सभी मुद्दों को इस एक्ट में समाहित किया है।
It's section 6(1) of the bill states the district magistrate shall issue to the applicant under section 5 a certificate of identity as transgender person after following such procedure and in such form and manner within such time as may be prescribed, indicating the gender of such person as transgender. So, this bill then, because this procedure is not laid out, essentially contradicts what the court's judgment is all about and can create more trouble and more difficulties for people who want to get protection of their rights under this particular situation.
मैं समझता हूं कि इस बिल ने ट्रांसजेंडर्स पर्सन जो इंडिविजुअल कैपेसिटी में उसको भी, इसके साथ में गुरु और उनके आश्रम की व्यवस्था के साथ में जिस तरह का वो रह रहे हैं उनको भी, और उनके जो लीडर गुरु के रूप में काम करते हैं उनको भी देखते हुए, और इंटरनेशनल लेवल पर भी अगर जो संगठन बने हैं उन नॉर्म्स को देखते हुए सभी को ये आज पूरा करता है।
I would like to remind the Honorable Minister that transgender person is born in every religion, in every caste and every language, every community around the world. Hence, this bill can safely be stated as mega bill, which will have far-reaching consequence in the lives of the other two gender. Hence, refer the bill to a select committee at this stage.
The first and the most important for me is certification itself is discrimination. शक्ल, सूरत, व्यवहार से वो और किसी मनुष्य से अलग नहीं है. वो बिल्कुल हम सब की तरह देखते हैं. What is the need to humiliate them like this?
Somewhere I'm very happy that a bill has finally come, that we have decided to at least look after the rights and protection of the transgenders. But on the other hand, I'm confused why it took us 70 years to get here. I think that is a point that should keep us awake tonight, that why it took us 70 years to really come up for this bill for this afternoon.
The Congress on Wednesday demanded restoration of the Special Protection Group cover to former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh and the Gandhi family. The BJP, on the other hand, clarified that the decision was not politically motivated and was taken after an extensive security audit.
The Congress party tendered a suspension of business notice in Rajya Sabha under Rule 267 to take up the issue of withdrawal of SPG cover for former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and the Gandhi family. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu disallowed the notice for suspension but allowed Congress MP Anand Sharma to make a brief submission during 0 hour.
Honorable members, I have received a notice under 267 from Sri Anand Sharma and 5 others, joint notice, and also Sri K.K. Ragesh on 2 different issues. I have not permitted 267, but I will be allowing them in the 0 hour in the first instance itself.
Withdrawal of the SPG cover makes them vulnerable. It is the responsibility of the state to protect its leaders. I remember, sir, allow me to say so, when UPA was in office, considering this aspect, no security cover of the former Prime Ministers, including that of, I'm not making a political point.
BJP leader JP Nadda defended the decision to withdraw SPG and asserted that a security review was not done by politicians but officials of the Home Ministry.
Sir, the security has not been withdrawn. There is nothing political.
Right.
The Home Ministry, the Home Ministry,
okay, thank you.
the Home Ministry,
okay.
The Home Ministry has got a very set pattern.
Right.
And there is a protocol. This is not done by a politician. It is done by the Home Ministry.
Right, thank you.
And according to the threat perception, the security is given and withdrawn.
Right, thank you.
It has always been a special committee in the Home Ministry which decides. And if there any question about it, one can always go to court and challenge it. Second is that the threat originally arose out of the question of the assassination of Mr. Rajiv Gandhi and the threat from the LTT.
The SPG cover given to Congress interim President Sonia Gandhi, her son Rahul Gandhi and daughter Priyanka Gandhi Vadra was withdrawn by the central government recently after a security review. Their security detail was replaced with Z+ security cover of the Central Reserve Police Force. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the Lok Sabha approved the Chit Funds Amendment Bill 2019 on Wednesday. The bill raises the monetary limits for chit funds and also proposes a higher commission for foreman, the person who is responsible for handling the chit fund process. It also introduces words such as fraternity fund, rotating savings and credit institution to make chit funds more respectable. Minister of State for Finance Anurag Thakur said the bill proposes to raise the maximum chit amount from 1 lakh rupees to 3 lakh rupees for those managed by individuals or by less than 4 partners and from 6 lakh to 18 lakh for firms with 4 or more partners. The maximum commission for foreman, who is responsible for managing the chit fund process, is proposed to be raised from 5% to 7%.
पॉन्जी स्कीम्स हैं वो बिल्कुल अलग हैं, वो डिपॉजिट बेस हैं, घपले करने वाले काम हैं। चिट फंड एक लीगल सिस्टम है जिसके माध्यम से इसको चलाया जा सकता है, इसीलिए इसको नाम फ्रेटर्निटी फंड की बात हो या ROFCA, ये ऑल्टरनेट नेम्स इसको देने की एक व्यवस्था खड़ी की गई है ताकि इसके माध्यम से आगे लाभ मिल सके। और फिर ये आया कि पैसा बहुत पहले कैप लगाई गई थी कि 1 लाख तक इंडिविजुअल का, यानी कि किसी व्यक्ति का, और 3 लाख रुपए तक किसी फर्म का हो सके, या 6 लाख तक किसी फर्म का हो सके, जो पहले था। अब 2001 की इन्फ्लेशन रेट के हिसाब से इसको 3 गुना बढ़ाया गया है। इंडिविजुअल्स के लिए इसको 3 लाख रुपया किया गया और फर्म्स के लिए इसको 18 लाख रुपया किया गया, इसकी लिमिट को।
In some other news, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that children be empowered and enabled for the future so that they can play an important role in the changes needed for the country. He said this at an event organized by UNICEF in the Parliament complex. The Vice President said it is the responsibility of governments, educational institutions, society and the families to create a safe, just and fair world for the coming generations.
It recognizes the fundamental human dignity of all children and the urgency of ensuring their well-being and development. It defines child rights as a minimum entitlement and freedoms that every child, a citizen below the age of 18, could enjoy. These rights compasses freedom and civil rights, family environment, necessary health care and welfare, education, leisure and cultural activities and special protection measures. The Convention outlines child rights in 54 articles under 4 broad categories: survival, development, protection and participation. I am glad to note that this convention has been recognized as a milestone in international human rights legislation and has been instrumental in mobilizing worldwide action for the realization of the rights and development of children.
The Vice President appealed to all MPs to resolve to protect child rights and urged them to work for the welfare of children in their constituencies. He also said it is very important to inform children about their rights.
Parliamentarians and legislators in the state are uniquely positioned to ensure that we create policies and programs that ensure a bright future for our children and our country. I urge you to keep the welfare of the children of your constituencies as an overriding priority in our development efforts. A positive start has been made by the Right to Education Act. It is not sufficient to just provide any education. We must have quality education. We must have affordable, relevant education. We must have education that empowers children with the competencies of the 21st century.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday said that Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana has significantly contributed to improve the ease of living for all citizens. On the completion of 3 years of the scheme, the Prime Minister said in a Twitter message that PMAY has empowered millions by ensuring housing for all. He said that a house does not merely mean 4 walls. Rather, it is the place where dreams take shape and aspirations get wings. On the 1st of April 2016, the Ministry of Rural Development launched a plan for rural areas to ensure housing for all by the year 2022. Under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, the target to construct 5,27,552 houses in the rural areas was set, of which 1,98,608 houses have been constructed during the first phase of the program from the year 2016 to 2019. The Reserve Bank on Wednesday superseded the board of the troubled Dewan Housing Finance Corporation due to governance concerns and defaults on various debt instruments. The central bank has also appointed R. Subramanikumar, the ex-managing director of Indian Overseas Bank, as the administrator of the third largest pure-play mortgage lender. The announcement comes after the government last week empowered the RBI to refer stressed NBFCs and HFCs having assets worth at least 500 crore rupees to insolvency court. In a statement, the RBI said it will soon initiate the process of resolution of the company under the Bankruptcy Code 2019 and would also apply to the NCLT for appointing the administrator as the resolution professional.
The Supreme Court on Wednesday directed the Kerala government to frame a separate law for the management of the Sabarimala temple. In a view to ensure welfare of pilgrims visiting the holy shrine, the Apex Court has asked the state government to frame the law by the third week of January 2020. Remember, in August last year, the court had asked the Kerala government to frame a new law for the Sabarimala temple, following which the state government introduced a law for other religious temples in the state as well. However, the Supreme Court rejected that law and directed the state government to formulate a separate law for the Sabarimala shrine. India's cinematic extravaganza, the Golden Jubilee edition of the International Film Festival of India, has opened doors for over 200 films from 76 countries to showcase their culture and art in the country. In its Golden Jubilee year, the festival will screen 50 films by 50 female filmmakers to acknowledge the contribution of women in cinema. In a first, the movie gala will screen films with audio description for the visually impaired. Here's a detailed report on the week-long film festival.
The 50th edition of the International Film Festival of India began in Goa with much fervour and enthusiasm. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar, Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant and veteran actors Amitabh Bachchan and Rajnikant inaugurated the coveted film festival in Panji. The current year holds great significance as it is the Golden Jubilee year of the festival. The week-long festival aims to provide a platform to filmmakers from across the globe to showcase their work while promoting art and cultural exchange. Indian movies like Uri, Gully Boy and Super 30 are among the 200 films scheduled for screening at the festival.
Goa is gifted with a natural beauty and screen beaches. The Goans are known all over the world for the warm hospitality. We love our food, football and films. So we welcome to Goa, welcome to International Film Festival of India.
भारत की पावर है, सॉफ्ट पावर फिल्म है, आईटी है, अनेक ऐसी स्थिति है, संगीत भी है, यह हमारे सॉफ्ट बहुत महत्वपूर्ण पावर्स है और इस सॉफ्ट पावर का सिनेमा का हमारे जिंदगी पर कितना परिणाम होता है। एक एक फिल्म का कैरेक्टर का जिंदगी भर एक इम्प्रिंट रहता है, ये फिल्म की ताकत होती है और इसलिए दुनिया भर में भारतीय फिल्में अभी अधिकाधिक पसंद की जा रही है। मैं जहां भी जाता हूं, भारतीय फिल्मों के शौकीन बढ़ रहे हैं।
Rajnikant conferred with the special icon of Golden Jubilee Award, while Amitabh Bachchan's most impactful films will be screened to commemorate his outstanding contribution to cinema. A 7-minute film on former Defence Minister and Goa Chief Minister late Manohar Parrikar is also being screened. In its Golden Jubilee year, the festival will also screen 50 films by 50 female filmmakers to acknowledge the contribution of women in cinema.
From playing queens to criminal.
76 countries are participating in IFFI 2019. 8 state pavilions have also been set up. IFFI is jointly hosted by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Directorate of Film Festivals and the Government of Goa. With inputs from Irfan and Vipul Agarwal, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
So that's it from us in this bulletin. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.